Yo, 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 it's DJ Crypto, your source for keeping crypto simple. Long time no see. Happy New Year to everybody. Going to do a quick update on Voyager Digital. It's been a few weeks since I've been on here, but the latest news that we have are some more concerns with Binance and Binance US, who happen to be the leading bidder to take over Voyager and its assets and customer base and tech and most everything that they have. But first saw this article by Pat Ackerman, and I saw many others share it and sent it to me as well. But let's take a look at this from Reuters. Um, Titled US Review Could Delay or Block Binance Deal for Voyager Digital. So, at first glance, this would be a terrible thing. As we know, the longer that this goes, the more that we as creditors lose from legal fees, from market conditions, from employee benefits, from whatever it may be. The longer that this goes, the more it costs. We know that. And so, here could be a potential uh, longer delay. It's not set or guaranteed yet, but it could be. Before we had news like this come out, and it was supposed to be a rumor. It was supposed to be FTX involvement, and CZ comes out and says it was FTX and Sam causing this kind of fear, concern, and how CZ is Canadian and not Chinese, and all these types of things. But let's get into the article. It says it's a 2-minute read. Let's see how long it takes me to go through it. But Binance's $1 billion acquisition of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital could be delayed or blocked by a U.S. national security review. The crypto exchange's U.S.-based affiliate Binance.us intends to buy Voyager's crypto lending platform with a bid that includes $20 million in cash, terrible, in crypto assets that will be used to repay Voyager's customers. But the U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, which I will now call Caiaphas, which is an evil ruler from Rome. Caiaphas, the trash, is going to ruin it all, or maybe they're the only ones to actually do the due diligence. We know that UCC failed us on FTX. They failed us on the Binance deal. They said they weren't even involved in choosing Binance US, that Voyager had chosen them by December 8th, and as if they couldn't do anything about it. The most pathetic group I've ever seen. But anyways, we have no protection from our representation. Fantastic. So they're coming in and they're actually saying, they are saying, this isn't a rumor, this isn't spread by some other exchange. The CFIUS is coming in and saying that it could affect the ability of the parties to complete the transactions, the timing of completion, or relevant terms. Not all, but maybe some of these, any of these could cause more harm to creditors if this is true. But all that being said, that's really, if the Binance US and the Binance bid for this is valid, which I doubt in and of itself, but here we are. Attorneys for Voyager and Binance US didn't respond. Go figure. Caiaphas has been increasingly used by Washington as a tool to stymie Chinese investment. Binance is owned by Chinese-born and Singapore-based Changpeng Zhao, CZ, and has no permanent headquarters. Wonder why. Wonder why they don't have a permanent headquarters. Probably because they don't do things according to the law. But hey, what do I know? The company has been subject of money laundering probe by U.S. prosecutors. Yeah, that's a great winner there. Let's go after the people who have money laundering probes going at them, since we just chose FTX, who is filled with fraud, and we lost out because of that. And like I tweeted the other day, we're going to lose more. We're going to lose more from the failure of Jason Raznick and his UCC team, and their failure and their negligence and their lack of due diligence, because they couldn't take the time on the front end to just consider who was actually trying to purchase Voyager, and they just chasing the quickest cash. If they would have just taken some time to look, because once people started looking at FTX, they found it. But hey, here we are. But we're going to lose more than what we lost in the negligent lending of Voyager that everybody's upset about, the uncollateralized loan to 3AC. We're going to lose more than what we lost with that as far as our recovery goes. We lost about 28% potentially from that. We're going to lose even more by the time this is all said and done, is my bet, because of the negligence of the Voyager UCC. And then people get on me all the time. Why don't you talk about Steve? Why don't you talk about Voyager? Like, that's been talked about for 4 or 5, 6 months. I don't even know how, 6 months now. That's already been talked about. Nothing new is going on there. We had the last 6 months for the Voyager UCC to have a spine and stand up for the creditors and try to get some recovery back, try to end it as quick as possible, try to do some due diligence and find out who can actually take over this thing. Because it could have been possible that you just open it back up, let people get their money out, and go on. But they didn't fight for anything. They just fought against these other companies who were listed multiple times now. Wave Financial, Cross Tower, and now INX have been listed in multiple places to have been involved. And they spent all their time fighting against those companies to just give it to FTX, to just give it to Binance. Just go up the ladder and give it to the biggest one because you know the name. And that's cost us a lot of recovery. So here we are. Caiaphas, that's what I call him. CFIUS, whatever you want to call it, did not mention any specific security concerns raised by the Voyager acquisition in its court filing, but it said the bankruptcy courts have sometimes ruled that national security concerns can prevent a company from bidding on assets in bankruptcy. Voyager filed for bankruptcy in July, months after the crash of major crypto tokens Terra USD and Luna sent shockwaves across digital asset industry. Voyager initially planned to sell its assets to FTX, but that deal imploded when FTX went bankrupt in November amid a frenzy of customer withdrawals and fraud allegations. Not just fraud allegations, but anyways, that's where we're at now with the Binance US deal. Now you have the CFIUS coming in and saying there could be a problem. That's no longer a rumor, it's a reality. And that's the problem that we deal with. And I don't expect good things. I don't have good news. I used to have a lot of hope because at the beginning of this process, what could have been done could have resolved it quickly, could have gotten it into the hands that gave a future for the app, opened it back up, which gets us the quickest return, which gives us the use case of all that we were doing before, gives us the ease of buying and selling crypto, gives us the connection to the bank accounts. And as a bonus, could continue the rewards or could continue the bank accounts or whatever. It's the lending that was the problem. Okay, shut that off. But here we are, worse than when we started, and now expected to get well under 50% recovery. Now, in this deal, the VGX token was not included. And so that still is yet to be, determined what happens with VGX. Is that included in this deal? Maybe VGX is set aside and maybe people still go on, but I guess they won't let that continue if the major purchase is unresolved. I have no idea. Obviously, the Voyager UCC never communicates with us besides acting like a bunch of people I don't like to just tell us, oh, we weren't involved. Like, how pathetic can you possibly be? I won't go on a rant on the UCC anymore on this one. They're terrible. They've done no good for anybody, and it all backfired. All their efforts backfired. But here we are. Binance has more concerns. We did a pretty big YouTube space. Not a YouTube, Twitter spaces talking about Binance concerns. Hopefully, we can get a group together to do it again because getting the information out in front of you, that's the only way you're going to hear it. You're going to hear the people using Binance, supporting Binance, call it FUD all the time. CZ calls it FUD all the time. He's blocking everybody. Hasn't blocked me yet somehow, but getting the real concerns lets you address it. And I think it's a pretty big deal. Obviously, it is. Here we are 6 months later. We're going to get less than 50% because the UCC failed us. So that's the latest updates. We'll continue to follow it. I got my internet working back again. Can't even talk right. It's been too long since I've talked, apparently. But check it out on Twitter. We'll share some more concerns. I'll see you all next time.